Hey ladies and gents, this is Miss P again, and this is for assignment 3, just a little tutorial. So you can see here that I've grabbed a whole bunch of data. So first year of box office receipts, total production costs, total promotional costs, total book sale costs, and these are all for different movies. We just don't know which movies per se. So I'm going to just teach you a few things. First of all, let's make a few scatter plots. Let's do production cost and see if there's any production cost versus first year, how much they make at the box office. So is there a correlation between how much they paid for it versus how much, or they paid to make it versus how much they got? So let's go ahead and highlight those, go to Insert, and then we're going to pick Scatter Plot for this one. And there you go. So this is number of $1 million, so we could add the axis title for that. So this is money, and well, I guess they're both money. This is money made. This is money spent. Clearly, we would be making very detailed axes labels with units, but just for the time frame, you guys, we've already talked about that in the first two videos, so you don't really need to. So here we see a scatter plot. So I can go ahead and add a trend line to that. And on that trend line, I can format that trend line. So I can have, let me move myself, I can display R squared value. Now I told you that correlation is just R, and this is R squared. So I can do a couple things. One, I could just square root it, or I could use the Excel version, which is a function. So I could equals and start typing correlation. Right here, double click. And the tricky thing is you just have to put a comma in between. So you're going to go this column, comma, this column, and then put the parentheses and enter. And so here is my correlation. So this is my R value. So R equals 0.91. And if you're like, that's weird, if we take 0.91 times 0.91, you get roughly this number right here minus some rounding errors. So if you would have typed in this whole number right here, you would have gotten exactly this number if you multiplied them together. So again, you could either take the square root of this, or very simply you can use the Excel formula, which is listed up here, to find the correlation value. You could then compare something else. So now let's compare book sales to how much they made in the movies. So here I'll put book sales versus how much they made in the first year. And we'll see if there's a correlation between those two. This seems like a fairly positive, strong correlation. Let's see if the same is true for these two. So I can go ahead again and go Insert, Scatter Plot. I'm not going to spend the time labeling axes. I can right click, add a trend line. I can then display the R value and move me out of the way so I can show you that there's really not a very good correlation because it's 0.225, and I can prove that by doing correlation here. So R squared is 0.225, so then R is 0.47. And so clearly the closest to 0 you get, the less correlated you are. So this doesn't show a very good correlation. This does show good correlation. So hopefully that makes sense. Just a very quick tutorial to show you how to make a scatter plot, and then also how to use the Excel to find the correlation, which is R, which should be square rooted of this R squared. All right, there you go.